Hello, hello, good evening, day, whatever day we're on. So I'm just trying to get my lights sorted out. Which light's better? Is that better? No, gosh. People keep saying to me that these Instagrammers have like amazing filters, which is what makes them look so good. I'm like, I've never quite worked that out. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this evening where we're going to be talking, about migraines. But I think that's a bit of an undersell, if I'm honest, because we should be talking about headaches and migraines, because migraines, of course, are a sort of, from our perspective, an extension of headaches, because you tend to get sort of tension and then headaches and then migraines. So we're going to be talking about everything and anything to do with your heads, okay, guys? So whatever your questions are, do please ask. And in the meantime, I shall launch in and start talking to you about how you can apply your self-care resolution. Nancy! I've been on QVC today, frontline worker me, that's me, frontline worker. Hello from Texas. Wow, thank you so much for joining us again. And hello from Canada. My God, it's like the Eurovision Song Contest with England getting nul point as usual. Nancy, you're here to put me off. Nancy, nothing puts me off. Nothing puts me off talking. Nothing ever will put me off talking about Chinese medicine, let me tell you. Right, I will cure your headache. Well, actually, I'm not allowed to say the word cure. I will do my best to help you help your headache, because my job is, as a self-care specialist, to help you help yourself. And that's what we want to do. So, Nancy, I'm going to ignore you because you are putting me off. Wearing heels on QVC. Can I just say the reason I did that was because I forgot my smart trainers. So I travelled, because I had to go down from Somerset this morning at the crack of dawn. In fact, I did you all at 5 o'clock this morning a how to gua sha when you've had no sleep feed, which we're going to put up in a few days' time. And then, of course, I got to QVC in these disgraceful shoes. Nancy will laugh because her husband always comments on what a skanky state my shoes are. This is pitiful. Okay, this is embarrassing, and this is what I wear. And I got to the studio and I was like, oh, damn it. I've got these really manky shoes. So I had to put my heels on. I had no choice. I couldn't go on national telly. Yes, those old things. They're still on my feet. But, in fairness to me, I had to get up really early. I know, I wasn't very comfortable tapping away my heels. But there we go, needs must, and I've done it. Anyway, here we are this evening to talk about headaches. Let's get to the task in hand. So headaches, migraines, it's all part of the same process. What is it that Chinese medicine has to offer us to assist us when we're dealing with these problems? And the fact is, quite a lot. So the first thing to say in our medicine is that normally when you're dealing with headaches it's to do with an imbalance of the liver, okay? And normally what happens when you're a headachy, migrainey type of person is that when the body gets stressed, which is pretty much every day, okay? We are dealing with pandemic levels of stress. That is the pandemic we are really dealing with. Hi, Kelly. And what happens is the liver, which if anyone's done my Qigong class, or any of the meditation classes, you will notice how you feel at the end. That lovely, relaxed, yet energized feeling. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right. When the liver is not feeling like that, instead of just going la, 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 it starts to go, it's speeding up and snapping, and then in comes a feed, and then a traffic light, and then you can't do what you want, and then something blocks you. Right. That disrupts the flow of the liver, and it heats up. It's a very dense organ. It's a very big, dense, angry organ. It's about anger, frustration, resentment. And when things start blocking it, or it doesn't flow, it can't undulate, it likes walking, okay? It likes direction, it likes a plan. If these things don't happen, then what happens is the liver starts to get hot and it creates heat, and that heat has to go somewhere. The body doesn't want it near the organs. It's dangerous. So the body, in the case of headachy, migrainey people, then what happens is that heat goes up. Now, this lady here, Olivia, you've just asked about your 15-year-old son. You said, could it be hormonal? Well, the thing about the liver is not only is it responsible for this heat and anger and frustration, but it also synthesizes the hormones produced by the kidneys. So in Chinese medicine, roughly, very roughly, the kidneys kind of are responsible for hormones, but the liver synthesizes them, so it has a secondary purpose. And if you've just got anger and frustration and resentment and growing pains, and your soul is also connected to your liver, it's the house of the soul. So if you're not on your blueprint of your soul, if you're not doing in your lifetime what you're supposed to be doing, or as a teenager, you're struggling to find your place in this world, like, what is it? Where is my place here? Then the liver's agitated. And the whole thing creates heat. And all the body is simply doing is pushing the heat up to get rid of it. It doesn't want it here, okay? If you do autopsies on patients with heart attacks that died, the heart's cooked from the heat, okay? The body wants the heat away, and therefore in the case of headache people, that goes up into the head. You wake up every morning with a massive hangover even though you don't drink. That is the liver. Anybody on this feed, anybody at all that ever suffers from migraines, okay, or headaches, or any of the symptoms that you're talking about, hormones, hangover feelings even though you're not drinking, or you find it very hard to drink and it goes to your head and it synthesizes. Why does caffeine alleviate my headache? But you get headaches when I crash mid-afternoon. Okay, hang on, I will answer that question in a second. So what happens is that all of those symptoms are to do with the liver. So the first thing to say before we start going into the 1 minute rituals and things is please download the liver fact sheet. It's on Katie Brindle, it's on my website, it's on my Instagram, it's free. Okay, and start implementing some of the deeper liver practices. Please start to join my Qigong class or come and join some of the classes over on Hayo'u Fit. It will make a massive difference. How do you know what the primary or the secondary cause is? It doesn't really matter. The point is that what you need to know is that the liver is largely responsible for headaches, and that's the organ that's getting affected. Why is it that when you gua sha not everything goes red? That's just because the body holds pathologies in different ways. Not everybody shars. That doesn't mean gua sha doesn't work. It's just not everybody's body reacts quite as obviously as mine does. Mine shars very fast. And the body releases, the redness comes because the body is largely releasing toxins. And if it's not being stored in that area, then there's nothing to come out. And you'll notice that if you do your whole back, there'll be certain areas that come more than others. So back to migraines. Migraines basically are to do with the liver, as are headaches. The liver gets hot and bothered if we are not on our soul path, if we're being blocked or frustrated or angered, or we're not able to kind of smoothly flow through our life. And the reality is, that's most people. Okay, I've been in clinic now for 20 years, and that's pretty much everybody. Everybody is too busy. Everybody has too much on their plate. Most people have no idea what their sole purpose is, okay? And most people are spending parts of their life frustrated or resentful or angered about things that are going on, injustices that they've experienced, or someone stopping them getting on with what it is they wish to do. And all of that affects the liver. And what the liver does is it raises the heat into the head. The problem with that is that once it gets there, there's nowhere else for it to go because it stops with the skull. And the skull's a pretty strong bone, okay, because it's been designed to protect the brain, okay? So what do? Well, the first thing is that we need, before we even deal with the headache itself, we need to get under the root of the problem. We need to support our livers. That's the first thing we need to do, support your liver. So use the fact sheet as your first port of call because it's all in there, okay? Now, what else can you do to support your liver? Qigong. The liver likes and is responsible for the smooth flow of qi and blood, okay? Now, when that process gets blocked because we're sedentary or we're angry or we're frustrated or the energy is moving in the incorrect way, that process of the smooth flow of qi and blood gets blocked off, okay? And therefore, what if your sole purpose is on hold because of COVID? How can you manage that? That's an interesting question, Norm. And can you ask it again shortly? Because I need to explain first of all what to do about migraines, and then because that's a really interesting question, and that is all about endurance and soul purpose, which I will come to in a minute. That's quite deep and meaningful. It requires 5 minutes, so let me just finish the feed first, okay? So, what do? You need to allow the liver to smooth flow the qi and blood around the body. Okay, that's the first thing. So how do we do that? Well, Qigong is the best way to do that. Okay, if you've got time, join my live feed, join Hayo'u Fit. If you do not have time, this is where the tapper comes in. Okay, because by tapping the body all over, especially on your shoulders up here, which is where the tapper is brilliantly designed, because it reaches this hard to reach area, okay, that enables the smooth flow of qi and blood. That is the first thing to do. If you are a headache migraine sufferer, please tap all over your body every single day. Make that your 1 minute resolution. Please try and do that first thing in the morning after your shower, preferably on dry naked skin, okay? So have your shower, get dry, whack yourself with a tapper for at least a minute, and include your head, unless of course you're suffering from a migraine or a headache at the time. If you're basically at that point, okay, tap the head all over, because what we need to do is we need to clear the heat, and we need to allow the body's circulation system to work and do its thing. In an ideal world, you do a bit longer than a minute, but I ask you to do a minute just to start with, okay? It makes a massive, massive difference. So use the tapper. You tap all over the body, quite simple, down the inside, up the outside of the arms, over the head, round the abdomen, down the outside and up the inside of the legs. There's masses of demonstrations here on Hayo'u and over on Katie Brindle of how to do it. I do it every single day in my live Qigong class, okay? We tap all the time. So tap, 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 tap. This is the first thing to do, okay? So that's a very easy approach, because what you're doing is you're hooking in to this first primary issue that the liver is producing this heat because it's stressed, and it's disrupting the smooth flow of qi and blood, and it's getting caught up in the head. It's the first thing to do. Okay, next thing, comb. Again, not when you have a headache and not when you have a migraine. It's about prevention, not cure. I have so many patients who have taken the resolution of combing their head every night before they go to bed, and they have massively reduced their migraines and their headaches from just doing that, not even going into the deeper liver work, just combing their head. Okay, so just grab your comb and press stroke over the scalp like this before bed. It's really easy. Look, I've got my little man here. Look at that. Okay, look at all those acupressure points that you're going to work on by combing. Let me just show you. So by combing on him, look at that. It's much easier to do. I had my hair done today. My daughter did it for me very kindly, because she's studying hairdressing and beauty therapy. Thank you, Kiki. She got up really early to do it for me. She got up at 5:30 to do my hair at 6 o'clock, so I could get to QVC on time. So I don't really want to disrupt it, because it looks really pretty. But the point is that when you're combing the head, okay, you're combing all these acupressure points. You are clearing the heat from all of these spaces on the head. Okay, and all the way around the back. And then when you're tapping with that tapper on that upper body, you're releasing from all these upper held areas. This is the body trying to release. It really, really works, okay? Now, that's where you work with the head. So you get that comb and you basically, you put your one-to-one with Katie, yay! How long should you comb the head for? Well, I mean, look, this whole campaign is about 1 minute. Okay, guys? So 1 minute every day. If this is your problem, commit to 1 minute a day like you do to your teeth. Just give yourself 1 minute. But if you can do a bit longer, I mean, I have to say, obviously I use every single one of my tools. I don't launch them unless I use them. There are so many tools that I've tried and I've decided to bin, because I'm like, actually, they're not that great. I'm not doing that one. I won't do it. Then I won't launch it, because I have to wholeheartedly believe in what I'm talking about in order to know that it's going to work. So I probably comb my hair for about 2 to 3 minutes every day, something like that. But I find it really relaxing. I mean, just using that comb over your head. It feels amazing. It really does. And it extends your gua sha treatment as well. So this is the thing. As you're watching me in these feeds, you'll notice that we're saying the same thing. This is the same comb that we're using for cellulite or chicken skin on the back of your arms or stubborn fat that won't go away. I mean, this comb does that, and then it does it on your head. But it also extends the gua sha treatment that you're doing on your face into the hairline. Because look, here's you gua sha in your face. Well, look, okay, you're hitting all of these acupressure points. But then what? You stop here because your skin stops and that's it? I don't think so. Those meridians go into the scalp. These meridians being full of chi and blood, life force, means that this happens, okay? You've got this going on in your head. Look at my face. Look how much younger I look when everything up on my head is kind of alive and full of chi and blood, and those channels are full, okay? Ta-da! So, I get a cold nose before and during headaches related to the lungs. So what's happening with you is that the lungs are probably getting involved with the stress response. So therefore you need to download the lung fact sheet as well, because the lungs open to the nose, okay? And add in the Qigong, add in the body restorer. So when we're then doing our head, so we've done our tappers, We've done our heads with our combs. There's more. Okay, now you can also use the comb on the body. Okay, now I know I talk about body combing all the time, okay, but it works. Ideally use 2 combs. I've only got one with me here because I'm in London because I had to go to QVC. But stand in the shower and comb around the middle. Okay, so you start your combing here at the back. It's much easier to do it like this on my model. So you comb, this is called the daimai. It's a channel, okay, that goes, it's the girdle vessel. It goes round either side like that and then goes round to the front like that, okay? That's the daimai, zhung, like that on both sides. So you comb, okay? Let me get you on me. You comb here, okay? Combing like this. So you grab your comb and round you go, okay, like that. Both sides, preferably 2 combs so that you go round the body. And often you will find, if you are a headachy person, that you will get a lot of red coming up through the torso of the body, through here. Okay, this is a really important area for you to comb in the shower. Really, really important. And then if you have time, again, this is all about your 1 minute and me giving you the full content, you go up the inside leg, okay, starting from there. And then you go there, up the inside of the foot, and then up the inside leg, if you can do that, okay? If you want to take it all the way, you go up the inside leg and through to here. That's what you do in the shower. If you've got time to do all that. If you haven't, just go around that middle. And then, for the absolute creme de la creme, okay? I know people don't know about the middle area. The middle area, the girdle vessel, is it's also a very good area if you want to get rid of middle-age spread, okay? Because often you'll find the stress response will be having a really negative impact on these key organs around the middle, the spleen, the liver and the kidneys. They're all around this area here. And by what they do is often they push the heat into fat cells through that vessel, okay? And that's why you end up with this stubborn fat that you can't get rid of. It's all because the body is just kind of overwhelmed. We are all overwhelmed, okay? You throw it when you get a migraine. Yes, that's the body trying to get rid of the heat. Okay, when the body's vomiting, it's because there's too much heat and it will use anything it can to get rid of it. Periods, diarrhea, vomiting, headaches, and of course, when you've got really extreme migraines, that's what's going on. Now, the interesting thing about migraines particularly is that people with migraines notice that when they go and lie in a dark room, they often, that's the only thing that sorts them out. Now, the reason is because the liver, which is the root of the migraine problem, opens to the eyes. And that's the thing. So then what happens is the eyes are just overstimulated and the liver headache people tend to have very sensitive livers. It's just the way they're made. It's okay. It's just the way they are. What happens is when you block off the stimulus to the eyes and you calm everything down, it calms the liver energy down. Now, it might take 2 or 3 days for that to be the case, but eventually it works. And that's why people do that. They have to go and lie down. The eyes can't take any more. But you see, this is about prevention, not cure. So this is about looking at things that you can do every single day that will stop the liver getting over-egged in the first place, okay? So also so I haven't got my jade on me here, but I left it in the other car. So you basically pretend this is the jade restorer, okay? You hold it over the eyes. If you've got 2 restorers, okay, this is a body one, just pretend they're jade, guys. You just literally hold them over the eyes like this because that will start to take the sensitivity out of the eyes. It will really, really, really help if you're suffering, okay? You can use the rose quartz as well, but in my opinion, actually, sorry, they are here, thank you. So, look, we've got, this is the jade one here and the rose. So basically, you just hold them. They're beautifully shaped to just be held over the eyes. My opinion is the jade is the better tool for the job in this instance. The rose is brilliant more for kind of skin flushing and like rosacea and acne and that sort of stuff. But when you're dealing with migraines and things, you want to use the jade. You can also use the jade here and you can also use it here. These are really great tips for how to kind of like allow the jade to help you over and above what you're doing. But the way to really, really get under there. Actually, I think our tapper is on Amazon now, Boo. Thank you very much. I think we finally our tapper has made it. We're trying to get retailing with Amazon and it's been a real problem for us for loads of really boring reasons. But the tapper is on there. I'm pretty sure. Catherine, can you just double check, please? And just have a look because I think it is on there, which makes it a bit easier. But So the thing is, you've got to get under the root of the problem. Okay, that's the trick. So whilst these things are going to help you kind of under and over the eyes, yes, but you want to hit it before that happens. You're likely to have a sensitive liver, so you need to do everything you possibly can. I don't think everything's on there, Catherine, but I think the tapper is. Okay, I'm pretty sure. And your box of goodies have arrived from Hayo'u. Yay! Woohoo! Okay, so you get bruises from your legs. From quick shower body gua sha with jade. Is that fine to include something? No, that's a good thing. That's indicating that your channels, if you start bruising when you gua sha on your legs, it means those channels are blocked, okay, and you're releasing it. Don't worry about the bruise. Okay, when I first started this, oh my God, I bruised and I bruised and I bruised and I bruised, and I would just let it clear, do it again, let it clear and do it again, okay? So it's a really useful thing to do, all right? It's a really, really good thing. Just don't overdo it. Just do it really slowly and gently and let it clear, okay? Did you buy anything from QVC today? No, I didn't. I was really good. It's like a morgue in there. Honestly, I was the only person in there with the presenter. It's so, it's insane, okay? So bruising is fine, guys. Just don't overdo it, okay? Because normally, if your body has had many years for this problem to develop and the body will shove things into these channels, when you start releasing it all up again, you don't want to go nuts. I mean, I did, obviously. I went completely nuts. I've got pictures of bruising all over me. I'll put them up for you. But, I knew what I was doing. There are contraindications to gua sha. If you get spider veins or if you get varicose veins, there are some contraindications and they are on the website, okay? And if you're not sure, please just email us in and we will help you. Okay, varicose veins I'll save for another day. But just to say, there is varicose veins is on one of the Katie Brindle feeds, and you need to download the spleen fact sheet as a starting point, okay? So, okay, where were we? So basically, you've got to get under the root of the problem and you've got to protect your livers at all costs. So doing Qigong, tapping the body, gua shaing that heat, where it's being created here, clearing it from a daily basis, where it's being pushed up into the head, will make a massive difference to how you're feeling on a daily basis. I have had hundreds and hundreds of headache and migraine sufferers who have absolutely sworn blind by these techniques, and they cannot believe the difference that it's made to their life. But if you really, really suffer, and I have had a couple of patients that really do, where they are debilitated for up to like 3 or 4 days a month out of what's going on, then that's when you need to do Qigong. Okay, that's when you add in these Hayo'u treatments, but it's the tip of the iceberg and you've got to go deeper. Because if this is you healthy over here and this is you with a low-level headache every now and then, everything I've told you will get you straight back. If you're sort of middly, then if you really take the gua sha seriously and you clear your head, we'll get you back. But if you're right over here, okay, and you really suffer, then we've got to do a bit more, please, okay? Because then the tools will help to a certain extent, but we want to get you completely well. Please do Qigong. Join my classes, okay? Join my 8 a.m. feed. If you possibly can join my 12 noon classes, they will really do the difference. And come over onto Hayo'u Fit and add in the deeper Qigong, add in the 12 rivers, add in the heaven and earth, just to start to give yourself time to practice Qigong. I mean, the more we're in lockdowns, the more time we have available to do Qigong, even with children and stuff. My kids get involved in the Qigong, okay? Try and include them in it. It will make a massive difference. Right, yes, I do have time to answer the soul purpose question. Let me finish on that because I love it, okay? Qigong has cured me and I love it. Yay! Okay, let's just go to the deeper meaningfuls on the liver, okay? So the thing is, everything that I talk about is based on Taoism, because Taoism is the root of Chinese medicine. Taoism originally was a philosophy. It then became religious, and it still is, but it also became a philosophy again. So it's quite handy because it doesn't interfere with any existing religious practice that you may or may not have. But the thing is that Chinese medicine understands the body and the emotions and the spirit. We are not separate from our spirit. It is in our bodies. The spirit in Taoism is held in every cell of the body. There are 3 trillion cells in your body, and each of the organs has got a responsibility to the spiritual growth of the person. And the theory being in Taoism, and it is just a philosophy, it happens to be one I personally believe in and find very useful, but you may or may not choose to ignore it, is that when we are in body, we are here to learn endurance, we are here to develop the soul, and we bring the peace of the heavens into our body through our spiritual practice of meditation and Qigong, which is why we focus on that Dantian, So if you think about that yin-yang symbol, that out of the darkness comes the light, and out of the light comes the darkness. Well, when you're in the embodiment of the earth, you have that little circle of the spirit, and it's in the Dantian. And we are here to experience the passions and the trials and the tribulations of life in order to take that frequency into our energy when we go to spirit, because that then the spirit gives us the peace and the tranquility of the spirit. But we need the passion and the excitement and the pleasure of existence. And I think the thing is that life will always have its ups and downs. Okay, I've been living my life and practicing this for many, many years. And I've learned through all of the studying that I've done is that to think that we all go through life and it's supposed to be easy is slightly misleading and not very helpful, because it tends to leave us feeling rather dissatisfied. And that in turn affects the liver, because the liver starts to feel unhappy. Okay, but what the masters will say to us is that actually learning to transcend the negative human emotions develops the spirit. And learning to endure difficult situations that might, from a human level, look to be limiting or unfulfilling or blocking or unhappy, gives us the opportunity to develop our endurance and transcend those limiting human emotions to grow the spirit, so that you would transcend your anger and frustration with the high virtue of the liver, which is compassion and kindness and forgiveness to yourself and to those around you. And the harder it is, the more spiritual gain that you have. And that's really the message that they give us. And therefore, we are here in a community. You wish that Western medicine wasn't so separate from Chinese medicine. Don't you worry about that. It doesn't matter. It's all part of the same amazing process. What's so fantastic is that we're here and there is a place for both. I'm not sitting here saying you shouldn't use Western medicine. Western medicine has discovered a vaccine for the coronavirus. Okay, I'm really grateful for that. My dad's had his vaccine. Okay, and I'm really happy about that. Life, and the thing is that there is always beauty in everything. The beauty always comes out of suffering. Okay, that's why most great masters have suffered. Most saints have suffered. Religious sages have suffered. Spiritual leaders have suffered. Great artists have suffered. Often you find people with incredible lives have suffered extraordinary issues in their life, which have helped them come out the other way. And the key to this is look at this community. Okay, the very people on this feed right now, there's 243 people, just on 205. Oh, okay, we can drive ourselves crazy. There's over 200 people on this feed right now, okay? And we are a community of people. If you join the Qigong over on Facebook, there's over 1,200 people in that group, okay, all looking to support and nurture each other. And this is where community comes in, because the community gives you the possibility to endure, because it gives you sympathy. And sympathy is another high virtue. It's something that enables the body to heal. It makes you feel better. And these spiritual practices that we do every day in the morning Qigong, the healing sounds, the vibration, the craziness, the laughter therapy, okay, the knowing of these people at Nutty Cat's here, Jill Canning's, and like there's a load of you, like Catherine's here, you know, there's a whole load of people. Boo, you're there. Oh my God, literally, oh my God, I just said boo and boo came up, okay. Helps. Look, there's a whole load of you there. Okay, loads of you. And you all know each other. You all talk to each other every day. And it gives you the possibility to endure. That's why I get up every morning and do the class. And if I can't, Aaron gets up and does the class. Because we're here to support each other. And out of that awful adversity comes this beautiful outreach of the high virtue of the human spirit, which is kindness and compassion and forgiveness and sympathy and wisdom and joy for being alive. And one thing probably to leave you with, because Nancy will kill me if I go over 30 minutes, I'm not allowed to wang on for too long, okay, is Nutty Cat, I thank you, but you know what, I just brought us together because I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to put this Qigong content out there on a daily basis, but you've brought you together. All of you in this community are the fabric of the community itself. You give each other the strength to get through this process and this time that we're in. And one thing to say, which I know I talk a lot in my Qigong classes about, is that in Taoism, there are three treasures in Taoism, okay, they say, which is the way that they advise us to live our lives, okay? And the first one is not to be happy. oh my God, radical. What is this woman saying now? Oh my God. It's not to be happy, because happiness is an unnatural state. And it's a state that really is quite hard to achieve. If you look at that Will Smith film about the pursuit of happiness, it's actually quite hard to get to happiness. But what the Taoists tell us to do is to seek and to develop contentment. Now, contentment is available to us. That is an emotional state that actually is entirely available in the body. It sits down in this lower belly, down here, down in the dantian, just here. Not his willy, let me cover that. Let's not get distracted. There. That's contentment. That's the smile in the lower belly. That's the ability to see the joy in every little thing in your life and feel contented from it. You are safe. Okay, you may not be too happy about the situation right now, but that offers you the opportunity to develop your spirit. And if you start using this opportunity to do so, you will feel contented, because it's actually rather lovely and rather beautiful and quite nice to take the kind of the relentlessness, which was, to take me back to the beginning of the feed, is what's causing half the problem in the first place. Okay, so that's why contentment is the first thing. If you're interested, I'll leave you with the other two. So the second is to be non-conformist. I'm probably quite a good example of that. To not seek what other people are doing and to think that you need to be doing the same, okay? Because you don't. Because often to be non-conformist actually allows you to be happy with who you are and not just align your life by other people's standards, which aren't necessarily making them happy anyway. So if you think about this brand, you know, it's not that normal to sit there on Instagram banging your head with a tapper talking about a medical system which only today has been absolutely kiboshed by our very Prime Minister, as I can't remember the quote now, but whatever it was he said about it, which is, you know, but that's non-conformity, because in the meantime you're finding extreme happiness from the person delivering it to you, because it's the truth. And to look at things from another direction and to be able to lead people and say, often in life, if you look at the stinging nettle and the dock leaf, that often you find the very healing material is right next to or in the poison itself. And if you want to blame China for the origin of this epidemic, which I think is kind of rather pointless, because it's done now, and you know, all of us to blame in different ways, I guess, but there's no point blaming anyone. The point is to look for the solution. And if the solution that comes out of this is some incredible people have created a vaccine and arguably given their lives in so doing, and an incredible community has come out of this across the world, and we learn to incorporate Eastern and Western practices in our daily life to create a new future for ourselves, then surely that's a good thing. And the final point, the final point to leave you with, is the last point, which is the third treasure in Taoism, which is humility. So there you are. You have contentment, to be non-conformist and to be humble at all times, and to basically offer yourself with just humility to the situation, because really, compared to nature and the forces of the world around us, we are but nothing. Okay, we are just one tiny little speck kind of in this orbit, and yet we're the genie in the lamp. So we're kind of nothing, and yet we're so important all at the same time. And that is really what Taoism can offer us at this time. And I've gone massively off topic. Nancy's going to totally kill me. And the bottom line is, I'm going to bring this round to 1 minute tapping, but to bring this round to migraines and soul purpose, all of that soul information. Okay, I know I can get on with those 3 rules. I like those 3 rules. They actually make me really happy. It justifies my crazy life. I'm scraping my skin with a gua sha. I'm bashing myself with a tapper. I'm talking on Instagram to a bunch of people who I feel are my friends. Who one day I'm sure we're all going to meet. But here we all are, that Qigong has suddenly come out of nowhere, that I go live with no makeup on pretty much every single day of the week. And yet here we are, and yet it works. So here we are. Compassion and humility are indeed lotus flower. They are indeed the superpower. So I will leave you with that the soul resides in the liver. That if you are suffering from headaches and migraines, you need to address your liver. You need to tap, gua sha, head comb, shower comb, download the liver fact sheet. And if you still have problems after that, please add the Qigong. And I promise you, if you really commit your resolution to actually doing something about it, you will all feel so much better, okay? Catherine, I was just about to wrap it up there, Catherine, but you said, well said, Katie, I work in Western medicine side, but I'm now learning about Chinese medicine, and I love it. Well, me too. And by the way, this is no longer, Kelly, you make me laugh every day. This is no longer a for and against debate. Okay, we're living in a world now where really we need to look at what works, and if it works, we use it. Okay, the Chinese were quite practical about Western medicine. When we took our medicine into their country about 100 years ago, they were like, "Ooh, great, we'll use that. We'll keep our own stuff, but we'll use that too." And now what you'll see in China, the way that they deal with COVID, is they're using Chinese herbs. They're using people are using qigong. They're doing what they know to work, because qigong massively strengthens the immune system. So does body gua sha. Anybody watching this feed that's coming off migraines, and we're just going into body gua sha slightly, is gua sha strengthens the immune system. Okay, period. Tapping strengthens the immune system. Qigong strengthens the immune system. Strengthen your immune system. Pasteur himself, on his deathbed, said it's all about the host. Okay, so if he said it, then there must be something in it. So please, I'll leave you on that note. Thank you all for joining me. Vanita, your Chinese medicine saved my sister when she was little. Well, that's just so lovely. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening. As usual, I've forgotten about tomorrow. Never mind. Taoists live in the moment as well. See you all tomorrow. I'll be back at 8 in the morning, back teaching. Oh my God, she gone tomorrow? No, it's Thursday. I've forgotten. I can't remember tomorrow. I'm just going to get through today first. Have a lovely evening, everyone. See you in the morning.